Houston Integrity, we are ready for the event.
ABC News, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Integrity for a voice check.
Integrity, this is Gio Benitez at ABC News. How do you hear me?
Outstanding. We have you loud and clear. How about us?
I hear you loud and clear, and I truly cannot believe it. You are quite literally on the way to the moon right now and still speaking with us. Tell me, how do you feel? What's going through your mind? I mean, this must be so incredible because have you allowed the weight of the moment to really fit in here? Have you allowed that to happen?
Well, first and foremost, we all wanted to give a shout out to our families first because we are pretty far from Earth and we have not gotten to say hi to them yet. But there was a moment about an hour ago where Mission Control Houston reoriented our spacecraft as the sun was setting behind the Earth. And I don't know what we all expected to see in that moment, but you could see the entire globe from pole to pole. You could see Africa, Europe, and if you looked really close, you could see the northern lights. It was the most spectacular moment, and it paused all four of us in our tracks.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I mean, okay, I'm not on the fence. I believe it's all legit. You know, I believe we're all going there. I was just looking at some live, and thank you for sending me this. Actually, I missed this myself. I was just watching something.
The fact that we lost,
and shouldn't everything be floating?
Totally
there was a book.
By surprise, even though you're
there was a
book
on
anyway.
the
and I just had
on the side that wasn't floating
across my face.
Yeah, you mentioned something about
feel different because I can imagine that's such a powerful rocket that must have felt different for you.
You did mention something about the comments, didn't you?
One of the biggest surprises was how smooth riding those solids was. We all expected a really just dynamic ride, a lot of motion. We were prepared to potentially not be able to see telemetry, maybe even not being able to, you know, touch switches, and it was very smooth.
Listen, Lenny, we have to, thank you. Hello, by the way, Justin and Lenny. Lenny, we have to believe the official narrative. You know, I know there's some people out there who are kind of like calling the official narrative out, but I just have to warn you all, be careful. Be careful of questioning the official narrative because you'll end up in jail. That's why. So, you know, thank you ever so much. And thank you for sending me this. I did miss it. I was just looking at some live feed and I noticed there was a book laying on the side that wasn't floating. Why wasn't it floating? You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at this. I'm just going to change over to something else. Stop screen. Share screen. Got to get there quick. Share this.
It's also roughly when you're going to pass close to the halfway point between the Earth and the Moon, and you can reference your
Matt, you believe this isn't a Hollywood production? I don't think so. But look, see that laptop there? Why isn't it floating? Oh, it is a bit floating, I suppose. But why isn't that floating? Why isn't that laptop floating?
Great, thank you guys so much. Enjoy your lunch.
There are a few things that aren't floating. Or perhaps they've got Velcro, you know. I get it. I get it. This is what we want, though, isn't it? You know, this is what we want. We want live. That tablet isn't floating. That isn't floating. There's some stuff here that isn't floating. Everything should be floating.
This view of Artemis Mission Control The Orbit 1 team still on console.
Surely the burden of proof
Crew
lies
notifying
with the
that we
NASA
did
lot.
meal.
Maybe.
We do not have fresh
A
foods
book
flying
that
on
wasn't
Artemis II. Orion does
floating.
not have refrigeration
I don't know.
or
Some are
cooling
secure with
capabilities
magnets.
required for
Yes,
launch that we need
absolutely.
for fresh foods.
They
So
couldn't give us
we
vision to
have
take off. I
shelf-stable
know.
foods aboard
And
Orion,
Justin
refreshable
mentioned
foods.
earlier on when we got
Is
that
used to having flown on the International
the
Space
set
Station.
piece, the press conference live from the Artemis, a lot of comments were saying, well, let's just look out the window.
As we saw in the
You know, let's
earlier
just look out the
video,
window.
Artemis II crew had direct input into
But they
the
won't
foods
show
they
us
have available
what they can
during
see. The
flight
view was
duration.
amazing,
They will
apparently.
rate all of the foods on the menu.
I
And
did
their
recreate
recommendations were
the
balanced with the nutritional
view of
requirements
Earth
needed,
on
what Orion can
Google Earth,
tolerate.
and that was the Sahara in the African. So, you know, that view of Earth does tally up to Google Earth. Just saying. Yes, they couldn't show us the view of Earth. So annoying. But, you know, they're doing their best. Come on, they're doing their best. I mean, this is good. So you reckon there's magnets? Look, that isn't on a magnet. You got paper there. You got plastic paper. That's not floating. These two things aren't floating.
Telling us a little bit more about the food warmer on Orion. So if the crew needed to heat up any of the foods that they are eating today,
I mean, we can't see. The hair is floating.
Approximately briefcase.
That bag is floating.
Food warmer
The scissors.
to heat the meals as needed.
This is fascinating. This is really fucking good. To be fair, this is really good. I mean, they're right in the stride, aren't they? I think they're like over 100,000 miles along the journey. They're approaching the halfway point. Put it that way. That's all I know. They are approaching the halfway point. They've all must have had a shit so far, haven't they? They've all had a wee. And they've all had a shit. And then they expelled some water waste. But I would have thought as soon as it hit the void of space, which from memory is minus 272 degrees centigrade, that would have just, you know, like turned into ice. Oh, I do love it. I mean, look, the big thing is this fakery or is this real? So, yeah. Does anyone know why they can't step on the moon? I did hear they did in 69 and three more times up till 73. Well, they're doing it all again, aren't they? They're like learning to walk again. They're just testing out the Orion craft, actually. So Justin would have hoped they just like went ahead and bloody done it. You know what I mean? Just went ahead and walked on it. So let me just try and catch some stuff on. I mean, yeah. Let me see if I can pull a video. If I can blah 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 blah. I mean, you got to admit that is pretty awesome. That picture is pretty awesome. I really do like that picture. So the last time they walked on the moon was 1972, but they can't do it now. Well, Justin finds it funny. Exactly. It's a strange one, isn't it? Hey, it's a strange one. So, right, that's live. Let me try and pick some stuff up. Right, this bloke. I mean, what's all this inflatable stuff? Have you heard about this inflatable rocket? Load of rubbish. They lost the technology, apparently, yes. So, have you heard about this? I mean, this just sounds complete and utter tosh myself. Look at this. 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 Okay, look at this. What do you make of this?
Did you know the entire meaning of this rocket goes directly back to Hollywood? And I don't mean a little bit, I mean in every single way. Obviously, this image is not real, but really, what is real? If you've already seen this part, just hold on, because we'll get to the really crazy stuff in 1 minute. So first, it was at 8:33 and T-minus 33, oddly. But look at this. You can see these wrinkles and what looks to be plastic. This is right off of Fox News. Fox, Not a Mockingbird News. What's wild is it looks exactly like an inflatable. We totally know that's not true though, but why are they showing this on Fox, Not a Mockingbird News? Now, even though that thing looked like an inflatable, we do have something in the sky, of course going at a 45-degree angle like always to fall in the ocean. Just kidding, that's a joke. A joke. And then we have videos like this. But it just goes to ask question, why the inflatable on the news then? By the way, completely unrelated, they have super lifelike, like hyper realization holograms that they can put in the sky now. Who knew? Let's get into Hollywood, because why is it that one of the astronauts literally, for real, look it up, played a part in Star Trek? And that's not all, it gets much, much deeper. All the paid grifters on Twitter post the same exact message right before it happened. Why? Because it's a freaking ritual. But did you know that Artemis, the name of the rocket, or Diane the Huntress, actually goes a whole lot deeper? It is exactly Hollywood. We'll get to that in a minute. So on Paul's Day, they have Ephesus, who are worshippers of goddess Diane, or Diane the Huntress, which fell down from Jupiter. Diopedes, meaning Zeus, so the image fell from Zeus himself, and then Artemis is actually Diane. You ready for the craziest part? This location is Holywood, Rome of Nemi. So how does the Huntress Diane in English or Artemis in Greek fit into this? She was the ancient pagan deity of Holywood, of which some are called Mere Diane or Lake Diane of Nemi, where they would do all their rituals. Come back to the rituals in a minute. Also, Holywood, synonymous with Hollywood, it's where they would get the wood for their magic wands. So Artemis was literally the god of Holywood, of Hollywood. And guess what they did at Mere Diane? Let's just say little ones will be taken out to the middle of the lake and offered up. Totally doesn't sound like the Hollywood that we know, right? And the ritual straight back to the tradition of Baal and Moloch. Fast forward 2026, the two deities in charge of Hollywood are still Artemis, like we saw on the rocket, the real rocket, and Baal. And they demand the same exact ritual. And it really does go a lot deeper, but I have a video from like a year ago on the Red Button platform you can watch.
Yeah, I agree, Lenny. That was hard work, wasn't it? That was hard work. But there's so many like things going on, and that's what I hate about conspiracy theories. You know, it's just such rubbish. So going back to the live stream, let me just show you this, okay? Let me show.
Two now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
Look. Yup, that is exactly what you think it is. A zip line taking the astronauts off of the rocket right before it goes up and flies straight up and then down and lands in the ocean because they're not actually going to space.
Good roll pitch.
Because it's not real like you know it. There's a reason why the first moon mission since 1969 took place on April 1st of all days. It's because it wasn't even happening in the first place. Because they cannot go to the moon, and they've never been able to go to the moon. The rocket flies up and then it falls straight down into the ocean. And the zip line took those astronauts straight off. That's why we didn't see them on the live stream at all. We just saw the crappy CGI picture of the rocket flying nowhere. We didn't even see the astronauts in the cockpit. It's ridiculous. If Richard Nixon could call with a landline phone all the way up to the moon in 1969, why can't we have a live stream of them in the cockpit while it was even on the ground? Because that didn't even show up at all. We didn't even see them before they launched on the ground inside the ship at all.
Two now bound for the moon. Humanity's next.
Look. Yup, that is exactly what you think it is. A zip line taking the astronauts off of the rocket right before it goes up and flies straight up and then down and lands in the ocean because they're not actually going to space.
Good roll pitch.
Because it's not real like you know it. There's a reason why the first moon mission since 1969 took place on April 1st of all days. It's because it wasn't even happening in the first place. Because they cannot go to the moon, and they've never been able to go to the moon. The rocket flies up and then it falls straight down to the ocean. And that zip line took those astronauts straight off. That's why we didn't see them on the live stream at all. We just saw the crappy CGI picture of the rocket flying nowhere. We didn't even see the astronauts in the cockpit. It's ridiculous. If Richard Nixon could call with a landline phone all the way up to the moon in 1969, why can't we have a live stream of them in the cockpit while it was even on the ground? Because that didn't even show up at all. We didn't even see them before they launched on the ground inside the ship at all.
And of course, that's what I hate about conspiracy theorists. Because they can like sow doubt. And do we want doubt? No, we don't. We don't want doubt. So this is what's happening on the NASA YouTube. We get mission control. Okay. Bit boring. So let's go back to the press conference earlier on today. I mean, but at least we're getting footage from inside Artemis, which is good.
There was a definite difference when they separated and we were just on the main engines, but just a steady rumble and a great ride.
What do you want to tell Americans here at home who are watching this right now? They're quite amazed at the fact that you are speaking to us on the way to the moon right now. What do you want to tell them about this particular mission and why it's so important?
First and foremost, I would just like to say thank you. Your support and trust in us has enabled this, and so many people.
Okay, back to Facebook with another conspiracy theorist. So here we go.
Look, I'll be honest. I don't even really want to do this video because at this point, if you still think this thing's going to the moon, I think you have a learning disability. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not, because it was so censored at one point. It was so censored and you couldn't find good information, but it's littered over the internet now. You can find really good information telling you that there's a firmament and that the earth is flat and stationary. It can't go anywhere. That's why it's flying horizontally, my friends. You might want to get tested for a learning disability. Not to mention a learning disability, but you have zero awareness of being mocked. They're literally mocking you. These are the names of the astronauts. Reed Wiseman, Christine a cock, Christ in a cock, Victor Glove her, and well, Jay Rammy. And I actually wonder if they're giving a little nod to me there, a nod to the guy that is exposing all of their lies every day, all of the time. He's got a nice little butt chin there. Yeah, sure, these are all their names, and there's no mockery going on because they love their phallic symbols and mockery, and it's always right in your face. Right in your face. But why would they lie? The lie would have to be so big and so many people would have to be in on it. And I don't really understand the point. What's the point? Well, the point is they're making you think you're an evolved chimp spinning on a ball in endless space. And if you think that, well, then you're stuck in the world of science fiction, actually, but you don't realize that you live in a spiritual realm, and there's a spiritual war going on, and there's a bunch of fallen angels here that are deceiving you in so many ways your head would spin if you actually knew the truth. And I used to think the lie was always about just hiding our Heavenly Father, but no, it's about hiding the fallen angels that are literally here in flesh, shape-shifting to character. They're all your favorite athletes who used to be someone else that you worshipped in a different way. Take a look. Oh, here's even more athletes. Yeah. Mickey Mantle, Christian McCaffrey, Houdini, Joe Burrow, Larry Hagman from I Dream of Jeannie, Tom Brady, H.P. Lovecraft, and Mike L. Phelps. Some dude who made the Pony Express, Alexander somebody, and Taylor Swift's boy, whatever, Travis Kelce, MJ, and Jackie Robinson. Oh, and Wilt, who became Kobe, who became Myles Garrett. They're your favorite TV star comedians. Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers and Michael Scott. You can't see that. They're all your favorite musicians. If you can't see Tom Petty literally is Ed Helms, or that Keith Whitley is Hugh Jackman, or that Tucker Wetmore, like you're not wet anymore if you use a bail to bail it out. Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Wallen. I mean, come on, people. It's all of your favorite people on the TV who all faked their deaths so they could become a new character, and you wouldn't realize that they live a lot longer than me and you. It's all of them. That's Cosmo Kramer and Dean Martin. And I've done videos on 100 of them. I'm not that good with my imagination, but I am good at seeing through their lies and their facial similarities and marks. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I'm sure this isn't at all just mind control to the 100th degree to keep you spinning on a ball evolved from a chimp, clueless to who you are and where you are. It's time to take your power back, my friends. Take it all back. And where do you do that? By seeking truth endlessly. Entertainment only.
I'm with you, Lenny. I'm with you. This guy thinks he's the smartest man in the room, and I feel as if, should I be going along with it? Because I don't want to be called thick. You know what I mean? But there's always a fucking but. He does have a point. Even though I don't see it and I don't go along with it, he has a point. It could be true. Just like going to the moon could be true. I mean, and thanks ever so much again, Justin, because I've got through like 2.5 hours of Danny Jones speaking to Chuck and Bart. And they're both compelling stories. It's a crazy one. He hasn't heard the names that sound rude before. This guy is like some brawling prick in a bar that's done nothing. Have NASA officially told us why they can't get them onto the moon? Well, yeah, I mean, it's step by step. They're just testing the equipment. They're starting again. And of course, back with the Apollo program, before landing on the moon, they circled it. So that's part of the procedure. It's safety. It's safety, basically. It's health and safety, Justin. That's why we're not landing on the moon. Health and safety. Health and safety dictate that you have to go around the object at least once before you land on it. Okay, so we got an opinion from Justin. In my opinion, that's the red herring, not walking on the moon. Why? Notice his argument was just attack the people who believe, not debunk the event with evidence. Step by step. They did it over 50 years ago, didn't they? Well, according to Bart Sorrell, they didn't. You know what I mean? But listen, I mean, what on earth is going on there, eh? Even with this, that doesn't look 3D to me. That looks 2D. I don't see a 3D globe. You know, this, and you can see the aurora there. This doesn't look real to me. I know we've got the stars in the background, which we don't usually see. We've got a massive sun flare, but that could be from the window. And, you know, this is the Sahara. And over there would be, Europe, Russia. But that still looks 2D to me. 2D with shadows. Nothing ever looks 3D to me. Nothing looks like a globe. You really can't believe anything you see anymore, unfortunately. AI has changed everything. Yes, so true. So true. So, you know, what's going on at the moment? We've got so this is live, I think. This is live footage. This is live footage as we speak. And it's great to see them, you know, where they are. They're all floating about, which is good. I think the other two are off for a bit of a nookie. You know what I mean? Oh, no, he's just back from the nookie. He's just appeared from nowhere, the black guy. I think he's gone downstairs for a shit. He's either gone downstairs for a shit or gone downstairs for a bit of nookie. Oh, fucking hell. What a load of bullshit. What a load of bullshit. I'm not saying it's bullshit, of course. So let's go back to, and thanks ever so much for Justin for sending me this, because I actually missed this first of all. So yes,
worked really hard, and even though we were a little surprised to actually launch yesterday, we have a lot of mission left ahead of us, and so I really want to tell them stay tuned and keep tabs on what's going on. NASA's doing a great job of communicating all the things to come.
That's right.
I can't even tell you how many cheers were there on the ground. I was there watching you all lift off from the Kennedy Space Center, and everyone was so excited, so happy, and that was just incredible. Jeremy, I know this is your first time in space, and you're surrounded by all of these space vets. What's it been like for you that this is your first mission there?
There has been a tremendous amount of disbelief for me. It's just so extraordinary. I just kept saying to them yesterday, like, I really like it up here.
Yeah. I mean, I think times like this, we need to have a bit of we need to have some boobs, basically. Times like this, we need to have some boobs.
Engage the warp core. Boogie protocol activated. Haitian all crew, prepare for the ultimate gravity test. Engage maximum bounce protocol. Status report, systems are booping, malfunctioning. Coffee! We need more coffee! Engage the quantum flux capacitor. Wait, that's not right. Engage my inner klutz mode.
Well, we all love some bouncing boobs. I don't know about you, but I think that picture is beautiful. That is a beautiful picture. That looks dull and boring. Where's the depth of color? Can you see the depth of color in that? The shadow. That looks boring, man. It's boring. Anyway, it's great. I think we're halfway there now, and yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. So, we've got a blue screen at the moment, live from NASA. Oh no, yep. So let's go back to that then.
The views are extraordinary. It's really fun to be floating around, and it just makes me feel like a little kid.
I heard that there was a little bit of an issue with the toilet. Which one of you was the plumber?
I'll take that one. I'm the space plumber. I'm proud to call myself the space plumber. I like to say that it is probably the most important piece of equipment on board. So we were all breathing a sigh of relief when it turned out to be just fine. It was just an issue, I think, of sitting for a long time and needing a little time to warm up, a priming issue. But we did originally think that there could have been potentially something fouling up the motor. And luckily, we are all systems go.
Oh, well, I'm sure I could see the faces right there. Y'all are very happy about that. I see that you're very cozy in there. It's tight quarters, but it was also a little chilly, I heard.
It is quite cold, and yeah, we're wishing we had the lower temperature sleeping bags with us. But right before this PAO event started, I pulled my.
Oh right, so someone done a big shit. Someone done a big shit, no doubt. Oh, let's go live. Let's go live to right. Oh, fantastic. So let's go to NASA, nasa.gov/track Artemis. So we should be bringing that up. That should be good. Here we go, everyone. We can track Artemis in. Oh. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, this isn't. Oh. Okay. Bear with. Oh, I think this is worth doing. So bear with. God, it's getting a bit slow. Going on NASA is taking up the broadband, no doubt. I don't think I've got the I don't think I've got the computer power. No. I don't think I had the computer power to go on to nasa.gov. Jabril made some excellent comments on the Van Allen belt. The astronaut was totally confused. Yeah, the astronaut, he kind of like said, we just sailed through it. You know, Jabril, yes, Bart Jabril. He's like the leading opponent to Man on the Moon. Yes. Fascinating. It is very fascinating. So this, I believe, is live. This is live as we speak. So let me just get you the link for the Bart Sorrell, however you pronounce it, with Danny Jones. And we're not talking about Hoax Police, nor are we talking about Danny Jones from the famous rock band, whose name I've forgotten. So I'm just looking through my history. I've been listening to lots of albums today. No, can't find it. Typical. Oh, so remember, everyone, donate to Danny Tomo. Are you going to donate to Danny Tomo's boat? Make sure you do. Can't find that fucking video now. Typical. Typical. But anyway, so Saturday or Monday we're getting there, aren't we? Monday we're going to reach the moon. Oh, forgive me, I can't seem to find this advert, the documentary again. Silly. Perhaps it's in my watch later. No, can't find it. Okay. Fucking hell. Sometimes. So where were we? Okay. Oh. Matt, the online conspiracy theory people get discredited by lazy bums like the boring prick in the baseball cap, calling people special needs for taking Artemis II at face value. Yeah, I agree, but perhaps he's got a point. I mean, that the baseball hat bloke you just referred to, he's kind of like promoting the same conspiracy as Chris Bivey. And I'm always aware of the people on the fringe saying something different to everyone else. I'm naturally inclined to listen in to those people with a small audience. I'm naturally inclined to listen to those people who are kind of like preaching to no one, because I believe the world is not what we are led to believe it is. And so I think it's important to listen to weirdos in base caps. Buzz Aldridge is 96. Surely an interview with him will be worth watching. Yes. Well, but wasn't there Buzz Aldridge? You know, Buzz Aldrin, I mean, young girl, moon. Wasn't there something about him? Kind of like, yeah, I mean, here it is. Here it is. Let me show you this. So in a way, he's already confessed. In a way, he's already confessed. And thanks for bringing that up. Let me just get through the comments. Ian Puddock should arrange an interview in his gin bakery with old Buzz. Yes. Buzz Aldrin punched a man in the face when he asked him to swear on the Bible, but that he really didn't. Yes, I remember that. Walk on the moon. Baseball cap guy had no argument except you must be a fucking thicko to be taken in by this. Buzz Aldrin, yes, the only guy alive who was on the moon. I agree. But it spoils it. It spoils it having so many people telling us it's a non-event. You know, I want to believe the narrative. I want to believe our government. But conspiracy theorists are making it very difficult, I must say. Find the vids of the man hitting the man on the... Yeah, I will do. But let's just watch this first, okay? Let's watch this first. And then I'll find the thing of hitting the bloke in the face. This is really good. All right? This is really good.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. But I think I know. Because we didn't. Because we didn't. Because we didn't.
I don't want to be presumptuous here. I can call you Buzz.
I mean, what the fuck was that all about? For goodness sake. What the fuck was that all about? Okay, so Buzz Aldrin hitting, well, punching man. Punching man. Yes, very good. This is. I've got it. I shall play that for you momentarily. 96 old. 96 years old. Doing well, isn't he, eh? Doing well, mate. Doing well. So, what we got? What have we got? We got...
Calling a kettle black if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
I mean, that's only fair. That's only fair. Someone coming up to you, calling you a liar and a cheat. Of course you're going to smash their fucking face in. Okay? But then again, Buzz Aldrin couldn't lie to a little girl, could he? He couldn't lie to a girl. Buzz is in his 90s. Let's see how cognitivity sound. We're all in our 90s. I can't. Oh, we've got a big hello to Brian. Old school, don't insult a man. I think Buzz went easy on him. Hello, Brian. Thanks for coming in.
From that lighting onto the windows.
Why would he react like that if he didn't really go? Oh, come on. He did go, and he was pretty pissed off with people continuously calling into question whether he had gone or not.
From the moon, and I thought
what was more telling was the way he reacted to that young girl.
So we are getting closer to that halfway point between the Earth and the moon.
So we're coming up to halfway, everyone. We're coming up to halfway. Maybe the buzzword was liar. Well, you know, there's also people who say Buzz is a Freemason.
That they are taking today, along with everything else during the mission. We did receive some beautiful images this morning from the crew as they departed.
I like to believe the best in people.
Burn yesterday. Okay? You can follow NASA on social media at NASA or at NASA Artemis to see these pictures as we
Buzz Aldrin was getting a haranguing by a douchebag. Yes. Yes, indeed. NASA live Artemis progress. I'll just show you another animation on my Twitter. Let's get to that. So Monday we should be at the moon, which is going to be very exciting. Monday we'll be at the moon. Can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. You know, it's going to be awesome. Lenny, do you believe Buzz walked on the moon? Okay, just saying it straight. You know, come out and say it. Do you believe, and this is a question for you as well, Brian, do you believe Buzz walked on the moon? Yes or no? I mean, I believe he did, okay? I wasn't alive in 1969, but I assume Buzz was there. Yes. There you go. I'm with Lenny. I'm with Lenny. So let's go. Maybe the idea of space travel freaks out religious denominations as they struggle to control it already so. Why question Buzz when he was one of the many who went into space? Or one of the few. I mean, you know, throughout history, there's only a few people have gone into space. I think they had a rover. I'm not talking about a doggy. Getting to the moon in 1969 was and remains arguably the pinnacle of human achievement. Very nice, Lenny. Well said. Going to circle around the moon on Monday, but too dangerous to actually walk on it. That's your sticking point for you, isn't it? Eh? That is a real sticking point for you. Health and safety. Let me play you this. So, like I said, we're coming up to the halfway point. The old film was blended with real film to make it look like a fake moon landing by the usual suspects, says Brian. Yes, Matt, it really is the red herring. I mean, but ultimately, unless you and I go up there, we don't know what's up there. Safer to go to the moon than ring Brian Harvey's doorbell, that's for sure, isn't it? Eh? Over 600 people have been in space. Wow. Yeah, with that, but how many people have been on the moon? Surely 20. Less than 20. Surely. So, how many people have been to the moon? My estimate is less than 20. 12. How many people have been to space? Brian says 600, and it says, 642 to 791. So, so 12 people have been to space. Sorry, 12 people have walked on the moon. And like Brian says, over 600 people have actually been in space. Lenny says, Justin, according to NASA, they destroyed the technology to be able to walk on the moon. That's an actual quote from NASA. Yes, indeed.
We expect to regain communications shortly.
Interesting. So we've got a loss of communication. Ryan is loaded from E17 royalties. He could go to the moon as a space tourist and sing "Stay Another Day" live on the moon. Live on the moon. 600 is not a few, absolutely, but 12 is. 12 is. That's what I'm getting at. 12, but we don't know what China has done. Well, okay. Are you implying China has gone to the moon? Interesting. We know China has sent landers to the moon. Yes, and you know you're right. China has been on the dark side of the moon. Beats in Pink Floyd. One of the moon landers is interviewed by Sibrel. It was embarrassing listening to the old man rambling. It was. I know. The old man was out of its depth, to be fair. 12 moon landing astronauts, not counting the unofficial dead astronauts. Yes, I'm not implying I think China has been on the moon. Okay, got you. Because if they had been on the moon, China will tell us about it. Still, no one mentioned the Van Allen belt. Perhaps the Van Allen belt is a red herring. You know, perhaps it's a red herring. We are so far behind China. It's amazing. I tell you, the China's craft to the moon would be a lot more spacious, than the Americans, that's for sure. So let's finish watch. Oh no, don't want that. Bish bash bosh. Hope everyone happy Good Friday, by the way, everyone. You know, and I don't want to be rude, but if anyone believes the bullshit that anyone can rise from the dead, oh, I don't know. You know, come on, mate. Come on.
My knit cap off, and I'm ready to put it back on. But Houston's been working with us to change fan speeds and temperature set points, and we've actually been able to warm it up a lot better in the last half a day or so.
Definitely, yeah.
Before TLI, we got a lot more comfortable.
I imagine there's a race
that's
as well.
A really interesting question. How is it that you take a nap in there? What does sleeping even look like?
Yeah, in the same way, back in the late 60s, early 70s,
Well, let's see. So
the Russians
for what, about 30
were
hours now, and we've had 2 very short naps. We actually
racing
napped
with
for
the
our
Americans
meal
to get to the
together
moon.
in
In fact,
space. That
when
just happened
America
to be
did
this
land on
last,
the moon,
day and a half.
there
It
was a
really,
Russian
an amazing
lander
beginning
at the same time.
But sleeping here is
But you bet your
actually
bottom
sort of
dollar,
typical. Christina
as
has
we
been
speak,
sleeping heads down in the
China
middle of the vehicle,
is
kind
hot
of with
on
her
the
back
heels,
suspended from our docking tunnel.
if not
Victor's been up where Zany
ahead
is right now. He's got a nice little nook wedged
of
in there.
America.
And then
There's always
Jeremy
been
has
a
been,
race,
stretched out on seat 1
and
sleeping
yeah,
under
so
the
I'm
displays
with
just in
Brian
case
on that.
anything goes wrong.
China will
It's
be
more comfortable
head
than you
to
would
head
and it's nice
with
to
America
sleep in weightlessness
and the
again.
private
As I'm
organizations that are
off last night, I had
partnering
that
with
image, and I was
NASA
tripping off a curve,
to
and I
get
was
to the
waking
moon.
myself up. So my body's getting reacclimated. It's been a few years since I've been up here.
How can we be behind China
Do you feel the weight of
when
history, knowing that you're going to be traveling farther than any other
the
human?
12 moon landers were Americans? Good point. Good point, Justin. Convert, some nerd on TikTok even, said the Van Allen belt is no more dangerous radiation-wise than the test X-ray. Very good. I love it. Obviously, it's not an issue because no one gives a flying fuck about the Van Allen belt except Justin and Bart Sorrell. Brian says, but if they go to space, will they have sweet and sour or beefy noodles?
And I think I just want to add, we just got done our.
They was talking about having shell clams.
It was pretty tense moments there.
They were discussing where to put the shell clams.
We got done that burn. We just kind of looked.
What's all that about?
We have been to the moon before in 1969, 1968 through 1972. It's been a long time since we've been back. And I got to tell you, there is nothing normal about this. Sending 4 humans 250,000 miles away is a Herculean effort. And we are now just realizing the gravity of that.
The Chinese are dominating snooker, so the moon is a piece of cake. Good one, Lenny. Good one, son. You are funny, Lenny, to be fair. Well, and you are.
Having
Brian.
just experienced incredible views of planet Earth and seeing the entire planet out the window in one pane, knowing that we're about to have some similar views of the moon in that same way is definitely getting me more excited for it. I knew that that is what we would see, but there's nothing that prepares you for the breathtaking aspect of seeing your home planet both lit up bright as day and also the moon glow on it at night with the beautiful beam of the sunset, and knowing that we're going to get similar views of the moon. I'm really excited for that. And then of course heading home. Right now we're in our cruise phase outbound, but we'll be turning our sights back on our home planet shortly. Shorter probably, it's going to fly by, but we're just excited for both of those milestones.
As you all know, there is so much division at home right now. What is it that you're feeling, and what message do you want to send to the American people about what you're seeing out that window?
Assuming we have been to the moon, perhaps the Van Allen belt isn't as dangerous as Van Allen.
First thing I would say is trust us. You look amazing. You look beautiful. And from up here, you also look like one thing. You know, Homo sapiens is all of us, no matter where you're from or you know what you look like. We're all one people, and so you know.
Mate, it's not as if you can see
that's amazing about
from outer space.
being
What
around
you on
and
about?
just being in an astronaut, you know, serving our countries at this time is that we get to give ourselves a mission that we can hold on to say, hey, look at what we did for the rest of our lives. You know, we call amazing things that humans do moonshots for a reason, because this brought us together and showed us what we can do when we put, not just putting our differences aside, when we bring our differences together and use all the strengths to accomplish something great. And so this mission will give us one of those that we all can remember and hold on to for the rest of our days. And I hope people will tune in and give us a chance.
Integrity, what an honor to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us.
So live
Integrity.
coverage
This
is
Houston
still
ACR. That concludes the ABC News portion of the
live
Please stand
coverage
by
is
for a
still
voice check from Fox News.
lost. We're not getting any live coverage from Artemis. But I would like to just announce that. Let me get rid of the sound.
Hey, Trace, we got you loud and clear.
I would like to announce that Artemis II is now approximately 1,224 miles away from Earth. We have 145,000 miles to go, and we're currently traveling at a velocity of 3,283 miles per hour. So, like I said, we have traveled 124,000 miles from Earth, and we've got 145,000 miles to go. We're coming up to the halfway point, everyone. And Brian says, put your hands up if you've not been to the moon. Justin says, all 4 moon landings occurred during President Nixon's term of office. Remember Nixon, the liar? Very good point. And so I am open to the suggestion that we're all being played. Okay? Lenny says, when are they passing the moon? Can they at least have a camera ready so we can see something vaguely interesting? They've promised it's going to be the most viewed moonshot ever. They've all got cameras. I've been a bit disappointed with what we've seen so far. But to be fair, that's a beautiful picture. That's a bit naff, but that's beautiful. And still, that doesn't prove to me we live on a globe. That looks like a two-dimensional plate to me. You know, so I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced we are. I'm not convinced of what they tell us, because for me personally, we've been lied about history, we've been lied about life, we've been lied about death. Why on earth would they tell us the truth about space? Very unlikely. Oh, they're all having a laugh. All having a laugh. Brian says, an obvious ploy by moronic political types with a penchant for our pocket money. Well said. Well, listen, everyone, we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Remember how grainy and shitty and shit the 1960s photos were? Yes, Lenny. Remember Nixon chatting to Armstrong on the phone in his office with absolutely no delay? Yes, I remember that. Yes. They were not grainy images in 1969. So we got a disagreement of views between Lenny and Brian. And on that note, everyone, good night. Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And we'll be checking out more from Artemis in the not too distant future. Kubrick did a great job. Some of the moon photos were. I was there, says Brian. So listen, that's a great picture. That's a naff picture. I'm going to I've done a few videos today. I've done a few videos today. Okay. Sweet dreams, everyone. Thanks for joining me.
Typed in shadows late at night, no face to show, no need for light. You call it jokes, you call it free, but there's a weight in what you speak. You throw your words like they're just air, like no one's breaking over there, but every line you choose to write leave something burning out of sight. You say it's nothing, just a scream, but you don't know what's in between. These are the lines you cross. You don't get to call it lost when the damage starts to show from the things you say and throw. And one day there's a cost. You can laugh, but truth will stay in every word you gave away. You build a story, twist a name, turn a person to a game. Labels thrown without a care, like truth was never even there. And when they fall, you step aside, say, not my fault, and let it slide. But silence doesn't wash it clean of everything that's said and seen. You draw the line, then move it back till there's no sense of what you lack. These are the lines you cross. You don't get to call it lost when the damage starts to show from the things you say and throw. These are the lines you cross, and one day there's a cost. You can laugh, but truth will stay in every word you gave away. Why do they linger, cut so deep? Follow someone into their sleep. You never see it, you never will, but quiet damages, damage still. No crowd, no mask, no screen to hide, just you and the truth you try to slide.